But hey, mamas, hello, hello. I want to know, are you signed up for Love to Learn 3? If you're not, then there's a link for you down below. And I really encourage you to sign up so you can watch 40 experts speak about so many different topics. Only one of them that we're going to talk about today is about college. All right. So if you've got a kiddo in middle school or high school or maybe even college and you want some information about how to make college amazing for you and for your child, then you've got to sign up for Love to Learn 3. I want to give you just a little bit of information about 6 different speakers who talked in some way, somehow about college. And there's a big variety when it comes to college, not only like choosing the college, getting into college, having a great first year, and everything and anything that goes in between. So if you've got a specific question about college, definitely ask it down below so I can ask one of these ladies and gentlemen that I'm about to tell you about what your question is. And you could even ask the speaker directly if you sign up for the event, because there's going to be all sorts of opportunities to talk to these ladies and gentlemen directly through some live Q&As. But without further ado, let's talk about the speakers that are going to help your college-bound tween, teen, young adult. And remember, sign up is in the description. I'd encourage you to do it after the video so you know which interviews are must-watch interviews starting February 26th. So, number 1, Shelly Howard. We talked about when to talk about college, all right? If you've got a kiddo in middle school, then that discussion might need to happen today or very, very soon. It really just depends on how mature your child is. But what Shelly says is we really want your teen to have an idea of what kind of college and college at all before freshman year of high school. Reason for that is we've got 2 very different paths in high school, kind of like the easy way, the hard way, I believe is how she described it. And that is going to determine, does your child go to college? And if your child does go to college, wants to go to college, well, what kind of college? There's a big difference between a very rigorous coursework and maybe one that your child can probably get by a lot more easily. Other things to think about are, when does an application really start? Okay, now I don't know, mamas, where you are in this whole college thing, but do know what Shelly is talking about is not just when the applications are actually due by the colleges, but what your child puts on the application. So if you start this process in middle school, okay, you're way more ahead of the game. But if you and your teen, your family don't really start thinking about college until like freshman year, sophomore year, something like that, oof, gets a little harder to make that application as good as it could be. So don't want to give away Shelly's whole interview. So definitely, if this sounds like, oh yeah, I need more information, well, now you have a really good reason to sign up for Love to Learn 3. Another speaker that's in the same kind of realm, same kind of genre, is Denise Thomas. We talked about activities. Okay, so I'm curious, is your teen in a bunch of activities like right now? Different sports, different clubs, different extracurriculars? Let me know how many down below, because Denise has some very strong opinions on how many is too many and why we want your teens to even be in a sport versus a club versus something fun versus, something extra. Okay. I would tell you, she said that these activities start mattering the summer before your child even starts high school. So really consider, is my child going to do something freshman year or does my child not plan on getting involved until senior year when Denise says it's way too late? Okay. Now, another cool thing that Denise and I talked about is not only why the colleges care about these activities, not only does it matter to your child kind of getting into school and basically kind of helping the college out by helping your teen out kind of thing, but employers care about these activities too. Okay, there are so many skills that your child can learn through these activities, but if your child doesn't participate and maybe is in too many things, well, then how will your child really develop himself, herself, and really get a good handle on some of these skills that colleges are looking for and employers are looking for? So I have more speakers to tell you about, Before I do, I just want to say thanks so much for watching here on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Jessica Coulter, the CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. I'm also the hostess for the summit, so you will be seeing a lot of me in each of these interviews. And I love to tie in study skills into everything we talk about because the name of the event is Love to Learn 3. So each of these ladies and gentlemen really want to help your child love to learn. And today we're specifically focused on college, okay, activities, and actually that college application that all ties back to study skills. All right, next speaker is Emma B. Perez. We talked about colleges in the sake of majors and careers, okay? I bet, mamas, that you and your child have talked about what does your child want to do when he or she grows up, right? Like what kind of career, and you probably thought about what major goes with that career. Or what's even more likely is maybe your child, is like, I really like science. Or I think I'd really like a job doing this. Okay. We have a really bad habit, Emma and I talked about this a lot, of choosing a major based on interest, but not really thinking about, what career does it go with? And we don't always think about, too, what's the connection between the way of life and what that degree is going to get us? Okay. She has a really awesome question or two that she wants you to ask your teens. And I don't want to share them both here because, again, I don't want to give away her interview. But essentially, is that job going to be the fulfilling passion, or is it going to support the passion? So I bet that's got your wheels turning because it definitely got mine turning and maybe go, maybe this is something I wish I would have known before I went to college. So again, another reason to sign up for Love to Learn 3 because these are all very different interviews. But if you've got a kiddo thinking college, you've got 6 reasons to sign up and listen in. So Carol Ben Davies is another speaker. So we talked about self-awareness and self-discovery. Now, this matters to college because, unfortunately, and maybe this has happened to you, mama, yourself, we send our kids to college, and then they're just supposed to kind of figure out who they are. Like, they just kind of grow up there. And unfortunately, for any of you that have looked at college prices, or maybe you are paying off college yourself, well, college isn't cheap. And so we really want your teens to know who they are, what their strengths are, kind of who they are personality-wise before they even get to college. Because Carol says that students that succeeded, that did really, really well in school, they knew who they were. There wasn't a trying to figure it out. They had a good grasp on what worked for them, kind of their, I don't know if I want to say personalities, but just really kind of the emotional intelligence piece of things, that self-awareness piece before they got to college. Okay. 2 more people I want to tell you about. So Crystal Tate also talked about college. Now, I feel like there's not a lot of talk about what happens between getting into college and being accepted and then starting college. So that's where we focus, was kind of like on the end of the journey. I couldn't believe it when she told me a lot of students don't even visit colleges until they've been accepted. Like, that kind of hurts my head. She talked about the price of like plane tickets. And so, like, depending on where your kid is applying, that makes sense, right? If you live in one part of the country and your kid applied stuff across the country, okay, I can get why the visiting might not be very easy. So we talked about college visits a lot, like the whens, the wheres, the whys, the hows. But then we also talked about that first year of college. So what are things that you can do as a parent to prepare yourself and to prepare your teen and really to have a great year separated for the first time probably ever. And do also know, we talked about that summer, like how it's a golden opportunity between high school graduation and the first day of college. So very last person to tell you about that I feel like fits into this college category is Drew Boudreau. And he very niche down, very focused on helping students with their auditions for singing, acting, and dancing. So if you have a kiddo that wants to go into a program for one of those 3 things, then you need to listen to Drew's interview. I mean, there's just no other way to say it, that if you are feeling like, okay, I don't even know how this process works, listen to Drew's interview. I mean, I gotta tell you, I know nothing. If you heard me sing, you'd be like, Jessica, please, please, never, never again. My dancing is, I can't say much better. My acting, I'm assuming not great since I never did drama in high school, never got cast for any parts. I was told you could memorize the lines, but that was my selling point, is that I was good at, being a student, which I think you all know if you've been here for around for a while. So amazing speakers, a nice variety of topics, even in this college kind of subtopic. So we have so much more to cover at Love to Learn 3. And I've just scratched the surface on these amazing interviews all about college. So thank you so much for being here. Remember, the link to sign up for Love to Learn 3 is in the description. So if you have not grabbed your free ticket yet, be sure to do so sooner rather than later. Highly recommend that you do that now so you don't miss any interviews, because the interviews are only going to be available for 24 hours, 3 interviews each day. So I mentioned 6 people today. That's easily 2 days of the event. And, the more you watch, the more you listen, the more you learn, the better experience your kiddo is going to have in college, the more money you're going to still have in the bank. And I got to tell you, loving to learn is a life skill. Okay. I want your teen to love to learn for the sake of learning. And I'm there to help your teen by giving you the resources, the tools to really help your teen learn how to study so your teen can learn how to learn. Have a great night, mamas. See you at Love to Learn 3 starting soon.